Hey guys, good morning. Glad to see your smiling face so early in the day. Well, even if it probably won't be early when you see this, but anyhow, um, it's Thursday. It's also like 14 days till Christmas, and not only do I have some pies and cakes to make for customers, which I want to put out a video. It'll probably be on tomorrow. You'll see it. Kind of, we have so many new subscribers and things like that, that I just want to put out a quick video that, hey, I mean, it tells you a little bit about me, why we started our bakery, and how we kind of got to this point. And it won't be a long video by any means, but yeah, I really want people to know why I started doing what I'm doing, how I got here to begin with. But that being said, with it being near Christmas and it being Thursday and we bake, it's time to start doing some Christmas cookies. I'm probably not going to do as many this year as I did last year. We gave them out for gifts, things like that, which is usually what we do. But I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do as many cookies as I'd like. But we are going to do a selected few. And I thought I would bring you guys along with me to help me bake what is going to essentially be the first couple dozen cookies of our cookie baking extravaganza. We'll probably do 8 or 9 different types of cookies and whatnots. But that being said, I thought we'd start off with stained glass cookies. Now, stained glass cookies are quite an amazing cookie. They're easy. They're a sugar cookie, a cutout cookie. But we cut them out, and then we're just going to simply sprinkle some Jolly Ranchers in the empty spots, and that will make a stained glass. But you can use any kind of hard candy that you like. I'm just using Jolly Ranchers. You can use Lifesavers, things like that. Any type of, it has to be a hard candy though, that I'm aware of. That's the only ones I've ever seen. But anyhow, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If this is your first video, I hope you get something out of this. Check out some of the other ones. If you're returning, thank you. I appreciate, you guys hanging out with me. I don't take that for granted at all, ever. And it means more to me than you will possibly ever know. I think that's awesome. Don't forget, if you are watching for the first time, hit that subscribe button down below me. Box says subscribe. Right next to it is the notification bell that lets you know when my videos come out. Try to put out videos every Wednesday and Thursday. Always food related in some sort. Dinner, baking, usually. Dinner and dessert. Why not? Thumbs up, thumbs down, much like the subscribe button. Those put us out into the algorithm, which helps grow our community. That way we have a larger community of good neighbors. Nothing wrong with that, really. And it also kind of tells me how I'm doing. You either like the video, you didn't like the video, or you're trolling me. But either way, I'll take it. It helps me grow, learn, and develop. But, it also gets us out in the algorithm. Which continues to grow our community. That's important. Comments, love comments. Take all the comments I can get and more. I try to respond to all of them. I do respond to all of them at the moment, but you never know. This could be the video where it blows up and I get a million comments, and I may not be able to keep up with all of them, but I will do my best every time. That being said, Facebook group, check us out, Mr. Smith's Kitchen on Facebook. It is a public group. You don't have to answer any questions to be a part of the group. But we just be respectful while you're there, much like comments, be respectful. And there, we talk about all kinds. We ask any questions, whether it be food related, family related, share stories, share recipes, share, whatever, it's all part of the neighborhood. It's part of the complete package. All right, so that being said, let's get down to the counter, and we will start making some cookies. Hold on for me 1 second. Okay, so for the first time ever, I'm not going to forget to tell you to turn your oven on, only because we don't need it on yet. After we make our dough, we have to let it chill, so we don't need to turn our oven on yet, but I promise I will remind you, or at least put it down below here somewhere to let you know when to turn your oven on, because I have a tendency to forget a lot. First thing we're going to need, recipe, right there. Now I have made these one other time, They are an excellent cookie. Me and Chris tried them for the first time a couple years back, and they were awesome. So, we didn't make them last year, but this year I think we're going to make them. Things you will need: scale. Scales are important in baking. That way you can be, exact with your measurements and get the right outcome. You will need a mixer of some kind. I'm using a stand mixer. You could just easily use a hand mixer or a bowl and a wooden spoon for that matter. But I have a stand mixer, so why not, right? All right. So as far as ingredients and recipe goes, first thing we're going to need to do is take half a cup, 1 stick of butter, 113 grams. And this is at room temperature, and it's unsalted butter. I don't use salted butter for anything, but if you have salted butter that you use, perfect. Just omit the salt that's in this recipe. But first thing we're going to do is we are going to cream this. Just let it run on low, medium speed, or lowish speed until it's nice and creamy and no longer looks like a stick. All right, we got our butter nice and creamy, no longer looking like a stick. It just looks like a fluffy cloud. We'll give it all a wipe down real quick. Scraping when it comes to baking is so important. Especially as you add more stuff to it. Your ingredients in, you want to make sure that everything's getting mixed up. Mixers have dead spots in them. Even hand mixers can have, create dead spots in a bowl. You may not hit every single spot. So scraping is important. You want to do it as often as you like or as necessary. Get that back on there like such. And up there we go. So the next thing we need to add to this is a half a cup, 100 grams of just plain white granulated sugar. Which is one regular granulated sugar, stuff you put in your coffee or your cereal maybe. And we're going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon, 3 grams of vanilla extract into that. And then we're just going to beat this for maybe a minute or two. And we're going to beat it on a medium high. We want to get some air in there. But we want to also make this nice and light and creamy. Okay, so got that looking light and creamy. I always wondered what light and fluffy meant, and I still haven't quite figured out why they say light and fluffy, because it's not really light, but it is. Well, it's light in color, but it's not really fluffy. It's more like a good mashed potato. If you've hit mashed potato consistency in your bowl, much like that right there, that is light and fluffy, or mashed potato consistency. So we'll go ahead and get that scraped up. That way we know we got everything, no clumps, no lumps, bumps or bruises. And then we got one more thing to add into the wet ingredients, and that is 1 large egg. Room temperature. Your butter's at room temperature also, and they weigh about 50 grams. But that can vary. It's a natural product, comes from a chicken, so maybe 49, might be 51, but that's okay as long as it's in the 50-gram range. 1 large egg. We'll put that in there, and then we're just going to mix her in until it's just combined. Okay, we got that combined. Once again, we'll grab our spatula. Now, I take my paddle attachment off when I scrape just because I seem to hit it more often than not. But you don't have to. That's not like a must. And we'll get this, good one scrape over, because we got to make sure it's all mixed together. Okay, now we got our wet ingredients together. That easy. I'm telling you, this is like one of the easiest. Sugar cookies are so easy to make. So the next thing we want to do is back up our stand mixer for a second. You're going to need a bowl, a small to medium bowl. And in this, I have 1.5 cups or 195 grams of, it'd be 1.5 cups plus a tablespoon of all-purpose flour, or 195 grams of all-purpose flour. And to this, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon, no, I'm sorry, quarter teaspoon of baking powder, which is 1 gram. And then I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of salt. I am using kosher salt. I don't, very rarely do I use iodized table salt for anything, but if that's all you have, you can most certainly use it. If you are using kosher salt and you get a coarse grain kosher salt, might I recommend that you crush it before you put it in here, or inevitably somebody is going to end up with a bite of salt. Used to happen to me all the time. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to mix this up, whisk it real quick, like such. All right, got that whisked up, got all the ingredients in there, fantastic. Now all we got to do is bring our stand mixer back out. I cannot wait till we start building our new kitchen. Oh, it'd be so nice to have counter space. Now we gotta all we gotta do is put our dry in here with our wet and mix the two together. And this could take a minute or two, but you gotta start out on low. If not, your flour will go everywhere, I guarantee it. And then as it combines, you can start turning it up a little bit. So I'm gonna let this go for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll see what there is to do next. Okay, we let that go for a couple minutes. Got it well combined. And we're looking to get some, remember, keep a little air in there. You know, not a whole lot, but a little bit of air. Will help add the texture of the sugar cookie. And right, there's that. Give it one more quick go around, see where we're at there. We're in good shape. Okay, let me get the mixer out of the way here real quick, and we'll move on to what we need to do next. All right, got the mixer out of the way. Now, next thing we need is 2 pieces of parchment paper. We actually need 4, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough here, and we're going to split it, because we can't work it all at once. I mean, you could, but we need to get this cold. This dough has to be really, really cold. Now, you have a couple options here. You could take this dough ball and stick it in the fridge right now and then try to roll them out, because remember, we're essentially making cutout cookies out of a sugar cookie. And to do that, the dough has to be cold. It just makes the whole process of doing your cutouts a lot easier. So we're going to take half our dough and get it on there on a piece of parchment paper, right? And then we're going to take another piece of parchment paper and we're going to put it on top of that. So that way we can roll it out with our rolling pin, right? And we want it to be about between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick to start with. So get this rolled out to its 1/8 to 1/4 inch. I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch, but yeah, if it's a little bigger, that's okay. Okay, once you get it rolled out, flip it over, and what you're looking for is, do you have any creases in there? And if you do, it's really easy to get rid of them. You just pull your paper up like such and put it back down, and it'll get rid of the creases. And then if you just feel around, you'll feel any high spots or low spots on your dough, and you can keep rolling, right? Okay, so we are rolled out. I cheated. I've got my 1/8 of an inch gauge on there, so I know it's 1/8 of an inch. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my cookie sheet like such. We'll just turn it upside down. And we're going to put this on there. I'm actually going to flip it back over so it'll quit rolling up on me. Like such. And I'm going to put this in the fridge. Well, I'm going to do my second one, then I'll put them both in the fridge. Well, I'm going to put this in the fridge now. So, how long do I put it in the fridge for? Well, I mean, it's kind of up to your fridge. Remember, you want this to be as solid as possible. So when you cut them out, when you do your cutouts, they're easy to do. So I'm going to say anywhere from 30, 40 minutes to an hour. The harder, the better, because we're at the point now where we're just going to start cutting stuff up. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one in the fridge, do the other one, and then when I come back, we'll start cutting out cookies, I believe. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we let our dough chill in the fridge for about an hour. Really, I got sidetracked, had to run Sarah to school, things like that. So we'll get you down here to the counter, and we'll look at what to do next. So, you're going to need an assortment of cookie cutters. Well, I mean, you don't have to have an assortment of cookie cutters, but you'll need a larger cookie cutter, something in about the 3 to 4 inch range, and then, smaller cookie cutters so you can cut out on the inside where you'll put your hard candy, so that way you can make your stained glass. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel our parchment paper off of our dough. Been in the fridge. It's fairly hard. So now, this is where it can get kind of tedious, because you want your dough to be firm. So if you have to, put it back in the fridge. There's no rule that says that you have to have your dough. Take your time with this. The colder your dough is, the easier this works. So in this case, I couldn't find my Christmas tree, or I'm missing a lot of my cookie cutters from the move. So we're going to do a Santa Claus, and we're going to put stars in the center of it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get our Santa Clauses cut out. But see how that held? That's because the dough is cold. When the dough starts to get warm, it won't do that so much. So we'll go ahead and get these cut out, and we're just going to put them on a cookie sheet, which I have right there, and as we cut them out. Now, don't throw away the scrap dough, because we're going to basically wash, rinse, repeat. We're going to take all our scrap dough and fold it up, or roll it back up into a ball, roll it out, we'll put it back in the fridge and let it set for, however long until it gets firm again, and then we will take it from there. Okay, we got all our Santa Clauses cut out, so then the next thing we're going to do is I got a couple different small cookie cutters here. I really wish I could find my Christmas trees, because those are really what I wanted to do, but that's all right. We do what we can. But I've got a star and a gingerbread man. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of these. I'm probably going to do, every other row gingerbread man, every other row a star, and I'm just going to put the hole in the center. And we want to, like I said, keep a hold of your scraps, because that's going to go towards the next round of cookies. I took all the scrap dough I had from these, and I went ahead and put it back in the fridge. That way it can get nice and cold, and when I'm done popping these out, I'll put this dough back in with that dough also. Okay, so we got our stars and gingerbread cut into our Santa Claus heads. Sounds really morbid. So the next thing I did, you would do is grab you a bag of hard candies. I'm just using plain old Jolly Ranchers with the raspberry, the cherry, watermelon, and sour apple or green apple. And I'm also going to go ahead and turn my oven on to 350 degrees, I believe. Yep, 350 degrees. So we'll go ahead and get that running. And what I do with my Jolly Ranchers is I crushed them up. I put them in a freezer bag. I used a mallet. If you don't have a mallet, you can use a rolling pin. You can use an actual hammer if it's clean. Now, I will warn you, when you put them in the freezer bag and start whacking it, they'll break up real easy. But these are hard candies, so they will start to puncture the bag. It won't be anything horrible, but it will start puncturing the bag. So I did some cherry and some apple. And all we're going to do is we're just going to take a spoon and we're going to put them in here, and we're just going to fill in the gaps, basically, where we cut out the cookie. Now, you want to make sure you, if you get any on top of your dough, you want to try to get it off of the actual cookie and more into the center. I mean, it's not a huge ordeal if you don't, you know, it's okay. I'm not going to tell you that you're a horrible person if you don't. But what will happen is it'll turn your cookie that color, which will be kind of neat. But we're just going to take a little bit at a time here, and we're going to put them in there, and you want to get them as close to even as possible with the height of the dough. So like this dough is 1/8 of an inch tall, so you want about 1/8 of an inch worth of whatever your favorite hard candy is. Like I said, you can use Lifesavers, you know, whatever it suits your fancy as far as hard candies go, really. And you know what, if it doesn't go even and it turns your cookie whatever color you put in there, you know what, it's okay. You know why? Because it's going to taste good all the same, and you made the attempt to make them and make them right, and that's what matters. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get the reds and the greens in here, and then when I'm done, we'll talk about how long to bake them for. If you get done with this part and your oven's not up to temp yet, just put this back in the fridge, okay? But we'll talk about that when I come back. All right, see you here in a sec. Okay, we got our Jolly Ranchers in there. Got all the extra off of the top of the dough. Now, if your dough is starting to get warm, I mean, which happens. When we made these 2 years ago, we battled humidity and warmth in the kitchen we were in. So if they do, I mean, just put them back in the fridge. It won't hurt anything. You know, you put them in the fridge and they'll firm back up and you'll be in good shape. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put these in the oven and we're going to let them bake for about 10 minutes. What you're looking for is around the edges of the cookie will start to turn a light golden brown. Okay, when you see that, you're good. Start checking them at about 9 minutes, but I'm going to say 10-ish, 9 to 11 minutes. But, you know, you're looking for golden brown on the edge. Your Jolly Ranchers will have melted in no time flat. Don't worry about that, or whatever hard candy you're using. And when you see that, they're good. Go ahead and pull them out. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine in the oven, and we are going to start baking them, and we'll take it and we'll pull them out, take a look at them, and talk about what to do after we get them out of the oven. All right, I'll see you here in just a minute. Okay, so got them out of the oven, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're just the slightest little tinge of brown around the edges, and that's what we're looking for because we want it to be just slightly crisp along the edges. See how it's not moving? And we want it to be chewy, you know, nice and chewy and soft around the rest of the cookie, and then our stained glass in the center. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to let these sit here and completely cool. I've got it on a rack underneath this pan, but we're not going to try to take them off the pan. Nothing. If you do, two things will happen. A, your stained glass isn't set yet, so it'll, you know, just ooze all over the place, and you run the risk of burning yourself. And you don't want that. So we're going to let these sit here 15-ish minutes, maybe 20. And then when I come back, we will get them off of here and give them a try. All right, I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so we let these completely cool. Now we just got to get them off. See how easily they just slid right off of there like that? And we'll get them on a plate. All right, we got them off the plate. They're off the pan onto a plate. And there are our cookies. I think they look really cool. I do have some more in the oven that'll be done here in like 7 minutes. I found one of my Christmas tree cutouts. So I was able to make up almost 6, I made 5. Hi guys. 5 Christmas tree ones with stars and red and green stars. I'll show you those here in just a second. I'll put in a picture probably right about now of it. That way you can see them. But as you can see, I mean, well, I don't know if you can see it or not because of the glare, but you can see through those. I can see you. And there's the backside of them. See, they do run, you know, but even if you don't get all the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like some little red dots here and there. You know, this one isn't perfect. It's got a little bit of red on it, and that's okay. They're here to enjoy. That being said, let's try to enjoy one. Let's see how they turned out. Due to my inability to eat Jolly Ranchers, I'm not going to get into that big piece of Jolly Rancher right there, but it tastes like a Jolly Rancher, trust me. Well, maybe. Perfect. And there's the green ones. You can see through it. Isn't that so cool? They're as clear as the day is long. And a good cookie. Alright, it's a good sugar cookie. Got just a hint of crispness, not Christmas, crispness around the edge. And just light and fluffy and chewy on the, once you get past that edge, all the way up to the Jolly Rancher. That really is a good cookie. I should have made those last year too. The first time I made them, me and Chris made them together, and we didn't really know what we were doing about a year and a half ago. And they seemed to be a little bit of a challenge. This go around, man, they were kind of easy. You know, your refrigerator is your best friend with these things. Hands down. So, try these. Yeah, and let me know if you do. Matter of fact, if we hold on for me just 1 second. That way I don't have to put the picture in, and you can just see the Christmas tree ones. And then we'll wrap this up. All right, hold on for me just 1 second. So, I just pulled the Christmas tree ones out of the oven. And there they are. I think they look absolutely adorable. I was able to get 5 more out of the scraps. So we got a total of 21 cookies. And this recipe should give you about 2 dozen. All that depends on the size of your cookies. What are you doing? But like I said, I got 21 out of these. And these are rather large Christmas trees. They're about 4-inch Christmas trees. But I want to show you. I don't know if you can see it or not. But see the blank spots in there? I didn't quite get enough filling in them. And that's okay. That is fine. You know why? Because they're going to taste just the way they should no matter what. And it's okay. We're not professionals. We're just guys and gals that like to do a little baking. But I wanted to share these with you. So I'll let these cool down completely and take them off the tray just like we did with the Santa Claus ones we made. And then put them on the plate and we'll enjoy them along with some other cookies that we're getting ready to bake later on this afternoon. But give this recipe a try. Let me know if you do. Let me know what you think. Were you successful with it? Did they turn out, perfect? Were they a mess? Was it a challenge for you? Was it easy? Have you made them before? That's another good one. But either way, let me know. Let me know if you liked them. Let me know if you didn't. But I think you'll have a lot of fun either way, and it's something that the whole family can do together. Cutouts are something that the whole family can do together. We're going to do my grandmother's recipe for cutout cookies. I'm hoping this evening, if not tomorrow. But either way, we're going to try those this year. We haven't done them in several years, and they're my favorite holiday cookie, hands down. But next week, no clue what we're going to make for dinner. None at all. Dessert, not really sure about that either, because we may do another round of cookies. I just don't know what cookie yet, or we may, who knows. It just really depends. Got a lot of pies and cheesecakes going out next week also. So either way, dinner and dessert for next week will probably be quicker dinners and desserts, or crock pot, something that goes forever. But anyhow, that being said, give these a try. I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart with the utmost sincerity. Tell somebody else you love them. You love them very much. It's going to make you feel better telling them. It's going to make them feel great hearing it. Take them some of these cookies and have a good conversation about it. All right? I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.